Greetings, fellow Whovians, and welcome to Timey Wimey Review and my spoiler talk review of the latest episode from Doctor Who Season 2, The Story and the Engine. So I am a little bit late for this spoiler talk review. I was away on holiday with Mrs. Timey Wimey Review as part of our 1-year wedding anniversary. As you might have seen in my YouTube short video that I did last weekend, obviously I wanted your reactions to The Story and the Engine because at that time I've not seen it yet. Like I said, I was away. Yeah, we had a great time. So thank you very much for asking. And thank you for keeping this channel going whilst I've been away. I haven't been able to upload any new content because I was just out of the country. I had very little internet whilst I was there. And yeah, like I said, thank you for keeping the channel going. Really appreciated it. Really appreciate there was lots of viewership whilst I was away. People still commenting on my videos and subscribers as well. So it's truly appreciated. And if you are new to this channel, hello, thank you for stopping by. But please do subscribe to this channel. That will really help me out as I'm trying to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. So from the comments that I did receive, it seemed like there was a bit of a mixed reaction to this episode. I managed to watch this episode for the first time last night as soon as I arrived back home. So here we go. Without further ado, here's my opinion and my spoiler talk review of The Story and the Engine. This episode sees the Doctor and Belinda travel to Lagos 2018 in Nigeria. The Doctor is going back to this barbershop where he befriended quite a lot of folks there. He basically saying that when obviously this is kind of like his incarnation as a black male alien, and Lagos made him feel welcome and not as much of an outcast, obviously being a person of colour. The people in this barbershop have gone missing, and it turns out there's a bit of a wibbly wobbly timey-wimey, where hey, thanks for the mention there, of this barbershop being linked to this giant spider that is basically being powered through storytelling. I'm going to go straight into this story, and yeah, the presentation was a bit messy throughout. Entertaining though, so let's go through some of the bits that I did like. I did like obviously the Doctor talking about how he feels a little bit alienated in this incarnation, and obviously that is very much a lot of people that have moved or emigrated into different countries, and obviously you got this ridiculous perception of judgment based on the color of a person's skin. And on the one hand, that is, you know, nicely relatable for any walks of life, to be honest. Obviously more aimed at people of color, but at the same time, you know, the Doctor is an alien who, you know, it does, yeah, he does stand out, but at the same time, you know, it is kind of, you know, because he's an alien, but at the same time can blend into the background as well. So yeah, it's a tough one to sort of to do with with an alien that is as grand as the Doctor. But I like the sentiment, you know, and that's the important part really, from this to take from this episode. I thought visually, again, this episode looks stunning. Doctor Who has never looked more beautiful and gorgeous, in my opinion. Particularly some of the effects that they use for the storytelling, particularly like the visualizing tapestry that they used. I thought that was really good. They could have done more on that, to be honest, but again, due to sort of probably timing, which I've already made my complaints about throughout season 2, needs to be longer. But yeah, it was good to see. I thought the music was good, by Money of Gold as well. A little bit repetitive at times, but I did like the music. I like the guest characters in this episode, particularly Omo, the barbershop owner. You did get a bit of an emotional sort of camaraderie between Omo and the Doctor. You had that slight sense that they've known each other for a long time. Again, it wasn't explored as much as it probably could have been due to time constraints, and that's something that was a little bit sort of disappointing. But at the same time, This episode just had vibes of 80s Doctor Who about it, particularly season 18 and 19 of classic Doctor Who, where there was just trying to sort of do something new and exciting. Didn't quite always stick the landing, but appreciated that they at least gave that a go. And the sort of, again, that kind of camaraderie that you had from guest characters from 80s Who, I felt was very similar here, but they didn't quite learn the lessons of trying to sort of add a bit more depth to these characters to really get the emotional weight and connections that the Doctor has made previously. Similar to the Barber, who was pretty much the villain of the week. He was the one that was basically wanted to take these stories from the gods and sort of basically be this almighty sort of knowing storyteller. He felt like he didn't get his dues. And obviously feeding that to feed the spider engine. It's all very confusing, a bit messy, so I do apologize if I'm not really explaining myself properly, because yeah, it's quite heavy. Again, good performance, and I thought the character of the Barber was intriguing, but it just didn't have enough depth and weight to it, because they were just trying to I feel like they had little like pockets of all these four ideas, but they just didn't quite woven into a fully entertaining story, and that's where it sort of the episode kind of falls apart in some areas. One of those areas is Belinda herself. She didn't really have much to do in this episode. I did like that Belinda was still saying, look, we need to go home. Why we sort of taking all these side stories and side steps, really, and the Doctor's sort of saying, look, I'm trying to do that, but we need to do this and this in order to get home. So I like that they're still having this little bit of friction, but again, friendship and respect for each other, but I'm glad that's still there and still being addressed in this overall story arc for season 2. Apart from that, Belinda kind of stayed in the TARDIS, which was for her own, by her own accord, which again was fine, and that's probably where that should have stayed, really. I don't think she should have come out of the TARDIS, because they didn't have anything for her to do at all. She was given the line of once they sort of figured out that obviously you're overloading the spider engine with all these stories that the engine's going to explode. She was given that line, which was nice, but it felt out of place in the whole story. Really, that line should have been given to someone else. It just, it's my Mrs. Timey Wimey was watching this episode, and it's sort of like, why did Belinda say that? She doesn't really know, because she's not really been involved in this story, and I think she's quite right. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoy seeing Belinda. I've enjoyed Farida Sethu's performances, but yeah, it just felt a little bit out of place in this episode. So yeah, sadly, I felt that Belinda got sacrificed in this story. I felt that the line about the engine overloading should have been given to Abina instead, because again, a very interesting character, just wasn't overly explored. But because it turns out that Abina is the daughter of one of this incarnation's, well, I say this incarnation of the Doctor, but it turns out that Abina knew the fugitive Doctor. So we got a cameo appearance of Joe Martin's fugitive Doctor, and I thought that cameo appearance worked really well. I really liked it. It was good to see Joe Martin back on televised Doctor Who as well. I did manage to see a clip of that whilst I was away, so it was kind of watched in out of context, but it didn't really spoil the episode for me. But it did flow better once I watched this episode in full and with that appearance. But I did like that. I know probably people that or Whovians that are not a fan of the Timeless Child story arc was like, oh my gosh, no, we need to bury this. Glad they are embracing this in this brand new RTD2 era, because again, yes, Chibnall created the Timeless Child, and I know not many of you are a fan of sort of previous Hartnell Doctors, as we're led to believe. But I think there's still time to sort of pivot around that. Hopefully, not quite sure how they will do that, but we've got a incarnation of the Doctor, so it's good to explore. And as the fugitive Doctor said, or paraphrasing really, I still need to catch up on some sleep. The Doctor saying, one day my story will come full circle, or something along those lines. So yeah, it's nice to for the fugitive Doctor to be included, and particularly in this episode, because I think the main sort of thing that I thought would have been just the icing on the cake for me would would been that this episode was fully an episode of people of color. Um, they nearly did it. They nearly did it, but then we had the cameo appearance of Mrs. Flood in the hospital scene with Belinda when the Doctor was telling the story. And then we had a few other white characters in there as well. And, I just don't think it was needed. I think it would have been way more of a statement to do that, of just having no white cast members in this episode. It would have just been so good, and I think it would have made a bit more sense, and I think that probably would have paved over some of the issues of the story pacing and story structure for this episode. We also had a cameo appearance of Poppy from the previous season's episode Space Babies. But again, it didn't really explain why she was there. It was just kind of some kind of weird flashback. Whether it's something to do with Belinda herself, whether that was some kind of hint to Belinda's character. If you've not seen my Who is Mrs. Flood video recently, where obviously I asked you for your theories about season 2 as well, there's been a lot of sort of talk about Belinda and whether we fully trust her or not. Whether that's to do with that kind of connection, I'm not sure. Again, let me know in the comments. I'm going to give the story and the engine a TARDIS rating of 7 out of 10. It was messy, but I was entertained at the same time. I can't say that I wasn't entertained when I was. But structurally, this story is all over the place. It's got a lot to say, yet nothing to say at the same time. I loved all the messages of the Doctor, and it's sort of like, this is like, at least this incarnation's kind of place of rest and feel like a person of his own. So it was a good exploration of that. Again, it's the human touch of that side really that I got from that messaging from there. But again, it just, I think because there was quite a lot of good things, they had some good ideas, but it was just, I think they struggled to weave this into a thoughtful and entertaining story. It was kind of one or the other, but it just didn't quite balance as well as it could have done. This episode should have been entirely a cast of people of color. That would have been so good, so impactful for Doctor Who and for television history, really. Again, yes, we've had this, but I think it is good to sort of recognize how far television has come in terms of people of color, but how far it is yet to go. Overall, though, I'm glad that this story was made and written, because yeah, it did give me season 18, season 19 Classic Who vibes in that sort of storytelling approach. And again, sometimes they didn't quite stick the landing, but I'm glad that this, like I said, this story does exist, because I'd rather it tried and failed with something brand new and thoughtful than not exist and we never knew. So again, it's just, I feel like it could be building blocks for something to improve on. But again, it was a good statement overall. I don't think this is going to be the strongest episode from Doctor Who season 2, but again, I'm glad it's there. and I'm sure there'll be bigger and better things to come. But let me know in the comments below your thoughts to the story and the engine. You might have loved this episode. I might have missed something completely from this episode. Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching this spoiler talk video reaction. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like, share and subscribe. Hit the close bell for more notifications. Come say hello and follow me on Facebook and X. And do check out my other fantastic Doctor related content on Timey Wimey Review TikTok. And of course right here on the Timey Wimey Review YouTube channel. Thanks again for your love and support and for keeping this channel going whilst I've been away. Not just on this channel, the Timey Wimey Review YouTube channel, but also Timey Wimey Review TikTok. It hasn't gone unnoticed, but I really appreciated the followers and all the comments that I've had from both Timey Wimey Review TikTok and Timey Wimey Review YouTube channel. So it is very, very truly appreciated. Again, thanks for watching. Until we meet again.